It's weird because the recording has a delayed effect, so I
Oh,
have to shut that off.
mhm.
It's there, and you can access it later.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what this is. Let's stop that. Okay, I'm going to put my other super magnifiers on to read the portion about this. I
Mm-hmm.
normally don't do this, but this is some really strong information. Okay, your life's work. What is it that you're here to do? Is the 33rd gene key. Do you understand anything about the I Ching or the gene keys?
No. No.
Okay, a quick explanation. If you take three coins and drop them, you're going to get heads, 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 tails, heads. There's six possibilities.
Okay.
Now that creates a trigram. If you do that again and create a second trigram, there are a total of 64 possibilities.
Okay.
And the Chinese figured out about 6,000 years ago that life fits into these 64 possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, humans are made up of DNA.
Mm-hmm.
DNA is also 64 points. So this correlates directly with human DNA as well. And
Mm-hmm.
musical composition, there's 64 notes in the scale. It's a universal number. So what I'm doing is each of you in each of the spheres of your life path, you have both a gene key and a line number.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you an explanation of the line numbers.
Okay.
Because to try to give someone all of it at once is like trying to eat an elephant in 15 minutes.
Okay.
It just doesn't not going to happen.
Okay.
But this way it simplifies it and gives you some potent information. But I'm going to read first the life work and what the 33rd gene key is, and the first four, which are your natural gifts. Your life, your life's work is to have a mystical life. To have a mystic's life means that you have to carve your own unique path, which is only important if it is constantly forces you to grow, to evolve, and to keep letting go of things.
Jesus. Okay.
You have to experience life to the fullest potential. You may live lifetimes within this single life. You're not here for a safe path. Yours is the way of pleasure and pain, of contradiction and of adventure. Whatever you do in this life, and if it truly doesn't matter what that is, but you have to live your life as the hero or heroine on a great journey. Eventually, you will return home, but the journey is all important. If at the end of your life no one has pleased, no one has pledged to write your biography, you have probably not given it your all and your life experience. The second part is your evolution, which I'll go through the keys and explain those. But it's generally what is your biggest challenge in life, what you need to evolve through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yours is the 19th gene key. What are you here to learn? The most important thing in life for you is life. Hold on. This is such fine print, and my eyes are really starting to go. The most important thing for you in life is not to cut yourself off from others
Mm,
because of the 19th gift governs how you evolve as an individual. You can never escape the need of the material plane. Thus, most of your key issues in life will stem from deeply material issues. You must learn to be sensitive both to your own needs and to the needs of those around you.
mhm,
Balancing these two will be your greatest task over time,
mm,
and it will become your greatest gift to others as well. There is one great truth you must always hold in your mind. As long as you have a place to live, enough food to eat, and friendships, you have all your needs being met. Anything else, strictly speaking, luxury. If you always keep this perspective, you will never lose sight of the real meaning of your life. I'm going to read the two pieces of the radiance once I go through the first two spheres, which you're a 2 4. The oops, I have this background on because I have the second line in human design is called the hermit, and the fourth line is called the opportunist. In the gene keys, they call the second line the dancer. So movement is always going to be, or dancing. um, so it's a very friendly type key, and it must learn its natural gifts and follow them. I was reading you two of the first gifts. Your gift in your life's work is about mindfulness. And in your evolution, the gift is sensitivity.
mm,
Um, the one thing about hermits, and not to be taken in a negative way, but they need to have time and space alone.
yeah.
A space that's just you, even if it's a room that has nothing in it, that's just your private, quiet me time.
Right.
Absolutely needed. And those around you have to understand that. It's not
Mhm,
nothing about them. It's just a part of what you are. You need that
mhm,
time. Um, an aspect of the second line, excuse me, is that it may blame or think that's not my fault. You know, you said this and made me feel that.
mhm.
That may be true, but them saying that, your response to that is whatever it is that makes you feel. It's not
Right.
their fault that they said that or did that. It's sort of like the 55th key. It's taking complete responsibility of self.
Mhm,
Okay, you said that. I can choose how I feel or react to that. This happened in life to me. I can choose how I respond to that and how it makes me feel.
mhm,
Uh, so, learning self responsibility is like paramount.
mhm.
Um, to switch to my other glasses, I can't read my own writing. I just started wearing glasses in the last maybe 4 months,
Mhm.
and now I can't see without them. And
Oh,
they're bifocals, so I've got to like adjust, and it's making my ADD brain very confused sometimes.
Oh,
Okay. Um, what's best for you in life is to be surrounded by high frequency people, people who know their gifts. They aren't in that victim place.
yes.
They um, people who are woke.
Yes.
They don't have agendas. They're not trying to hiddenly do something to get you to do this. You find people that are manipulative or
Yeah.
get them out of your life.
Yeah.
All right. The wound of the second line is denial, and denial is healed with ease. Not trying, just chill.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and those are the two, the evolution and the life's work. I'm going to read the radiance and purpose. Okay. More than anything in life, your radiance, you need a sense of spaciousness. You may lead an extremely busy life, but you need to have an inner oasis that you can visit regularly. Most importantly, you need to have silence in your life,
Mhm.
a place where you cannot be disturbed and that you're alone. Some people create this feeling through activities such as meditation or even sports. Learning pauses is one of the classes, is a great way to do that. For you to really shine in the world, you need something that allows you to switch off from your outer life entirely. You also need to replicate the feeling externally through an actual physical space that belongs only to you. Even though this is the opposite of being a hermit, it's still
Mhm.
saying the same thing that a hermit
Mm.
needs. Um, the space needs to be uncluttered as possible. It could even be empty. Such a space symbolizes that the inner space and frequencies that arise within you, you must learn to identify when you are ignoring or avoiding these times because they are filled with magic. It is through the inner space that all your great insights and transformation emerge from. And purpose holds two things. It's your purpose in life, not meaning what you do, but what you are.
Mhm.
And the purpose is also what is your purpose in relationships.
Mhm.
And here you have the 44th gene key. Um, one inner purpose, one's inner purpose is always a byproduct of fulfilling one's life's work. In your case, it concerns what some people call a soul group. Your soul group or fractal consists of those people with whom you have unconscious genetic contracts. As you follow your destiny, these people will gradually assemble themselves in your life, and you will learn to recognize them the moment that they appear. I'm probably one of those people. Hold on, where it is like greeting an old friend. Such keys for your life are your purpose and must wait for you to meet. You cannot hurry this process and you cannot force it.
Mm.
Only by relaxing and enjoying your life will they appear at the appropriate time. If what you are doing is authentic, they will appear just when you need them. That goes for, now I'll read the two parts of the four because it's almost the opposite of a hermit.
Mhm.
You, it's the server and the opportunist and networker. So you
Mhm.
have your hermit side, and then you have your need to connect side.
Right.
And the four thrives with community.
Mhm.
The wound is of rejection in the fourth line, and rejection is healed with gentleness.
Mhm.
It's best to be surrounded by people with integrity, honesty, softness, and romance.
Mhm.
One of the shadows of the fourth line is that they can be overgiving. They can also be manipulative and
Mhm.
susceptible to corruption.
Mhm.
So the key there is self honesty completely, not only with yourself, but with others.
Mhm.
That's where you get that authenticity or light that attracts that to you in life.
Mhm.
Now, the second part of this reading is all about relationships, how you love, and what your child development in the three different stages of child development brought to you in life.
Mhm.
The purpose in relationships, the fourth line, is either the nurturer or on the shadow side, it's the politician. Is that
Mhm.
making weird noises for you? Can you hear me
Mhm.
well? Okay.
Mhm.
The politician is, how are you? I'm fine. You know, it's the complete opposite of the nurturer.
Okay.
You know, does that have some resonance?
Yeah.
Okay. The second part of the Venus sequence is your attraction sphere. What attracts people to you? And you have a
Mhm.
third line there. The third line is promiscuity on one side and playfulness on the other side.
Mhm.
The one thing about a third line is it's about trial and error and learning
Mhm.
from failure.
Okay.
And the only other place that you have that's the pearl, and I'll discuss that in a second. What's interesting is you have three first lines in your childhood development, and you have a sixth line. So the last thing to develop is the IQ. You know what IQ is? Intellectual
Mhm.
quotient.
Mhm.
Okay. Here, uh, geez, you have a contemplative mind. Your gift there is diplomacy. And something about first lines, it's the foundation that everything is built on. It's
Mhm.
also in human design called the investigator, and it's about development. Without a solid foundation, you can't build anything because if you
Mhm.
build shit, it just falls apart. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
have that in both your IQ and your EQ. As IQ is emotional intelligence, EQ, I said that backwards. IQ is
Mhm.
intellectual intelligence.
Mhm.
EQ is your emotional intelligence, how you
Mhm.
developed emotionally. And that comes from age 7 to about 7 year cycles. What's that, 12? Um, a first line as well. And the first line there is, geez, self-esteem and self-sabotage.
Mhm.
So on an emotional level, you can either be, you know, adding to and building up the self-esteem, or the shadow side is self-sabotage.
Mhm.
The SQ is your spiritual quotient, how your soul developed, and that's from age 0 to 7. And you have a sixth line. The sixth line is about patience, and your gift there is self assurance.
Mhm.
So that was, and then core, the core wound is sort of like at birth. What
Mhm.
what from your DNA did you bring into this lifetime from your ancestors?
Mhm.
And the core wound, you have a line 1 there, and the core wound is about depression,
Mhm.
and depression is healed with honesty,
Mhm.
getting real with yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
The other aspect of the that key is it begins the next sequence, which is about prosperity. So
Mhm.
that is called the vocation, and what you brought into this life is a piece of what makes your prosperity. And by prosperity,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily mean money.
Right.
You can be prosperous in a lot of things, in love, in relationships, in business, in money.
Right. Right.
Um, and your line 1 is about being the production or the producer. You're writing the screenplay.
Mhm.
And again, you go back to 1, it's about foundation, development, and investigation.
Mhm.
The second part of the prosperity triangle is called culture.
Mhm.
And culture can be a lot of things. It can be um, your ethnicity, it could be the
Mhm.
culture of your family, it can be the
Mhm.
culture of a business, it can be the culture of a
Mhm.
nation. But you have a sixth line there. And there's something about six lines that there's three different parts of development.
Okay.
From 0 to 30, it's actually only a third, a three. And
Mhm.
the three is all about trial and error. You know,
Okay.
I touch the hot stove, I burn myself. I touch the hot stove, I burn myself. I touch the
Right.
hot stove, I burn myself.
Right.
The second part from age 30 to about 50 is learning from the mistakes and failures. I
Mhm.
touched, maybe I shouldn't touch the stove and not burn myself.
Mhm.
And then the from 50 on, it's the overseer and the teacher. You
Mhm.
hold the dream. You're not necessarily the one to make the dream happen, but you're the
Mhm.
holder and overseer of it.
Okay.
And the gift there that you have is magnetism.
Mhm.
Then it goes back up to the life's work, and the life's work is your brand. And
Mhm.
your brand is about passion
Mhm.
and image. And you can't really directly get to the pearl, but once you have the three pieces that surround it and know it and sort of live it, the pearl piece happens by itself. And
Okay.
the pearl, you have a third line, which is about celebration.
Mhm.
And the gift that you have is precision.
Mhm.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, that's about it from the line reading. The one
Okay.
thing that I will say is in your radiance, I happen to
Uh-huh.
have this in your radiance. It's the fourth line. You have a fourth line, but it says the gift is invention.
Mhm.
I know that that for me is it's the 24th gene key, and I have it twice in my development as my emotional and my pearl, but it's the shadow of addiction.
Mhm.
And I mean,
Mhm.
we're all addicted to something or another, but
Right.
it's whatever we use to not feel what we feel or avoid.
Right.
You know, it can be shopping, it can be drugs, it can be sex, it can be working, it can
Yeah.
be, anything. So
Right.
I usually don't go into the gene keys part because it starts to be too much. But that one I happen to know because it's one I study a lot for myself.
Okay.
But silence, and because you need that time and also the space by yourself and silence, it's that's why I mentioned it.
Okay. Silent. Yeah. Yeah, I know that. I do know that about myself. I always thought I was weird because I'm like, oh, I really need this time alone. I don't like you people. But then it's like, but I really like people. I need to connect. So like, so crazy.
As I
Yeah.
reach for my addiction, still,
Yes.
what did any of these pieces stand out to you, or any of the words or
They
ideas?
all make sense. It really is who I am as
Exactly.
a person. Yeah.
It's you already know all of these things because it's you, but to have
Yeah.
somebody else be able to look at it and go, yeah, this is you.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. Like, yeah.
And
And
that's
as I age, those things. I mean, I didn't know them before, but as I've been being quiet and just, I don't know, something happened to me in the past month or two, and I don't know. I just started to become myself. I don't know. I don't know, and I'm just starting to understand who I am after a very, very bad relationship. I think that's what kickstarted it. So yeah,
another one.
and another one. This one was worse, and I think I just it made me wake up like, no, this is a journey to self. You know, and all the things I just started to take all the things that I hated about that relationship and turn it into a positive for myself. Like, okay, if he felt that way about me, it's some way that I feel about myself, right? So I'm going inside and I'm just really plucking the weeds. Like, oh my God, I didn't even see that back there, you know? So every morning I'm just, I'm with my affirmations, my healing music. I'm just telling myself, oh my God, you're so beautiful, you're so wonderful, you're amazing, you're special. I say that every morning. I just am so happy to get up and live my life, you know? So every morning I'm just like, life is delicious, it's wonderful, it's special, it's beautiful, it's amazing. I'm just so happy to be here, I'm just like,
Girl, I need
I'm
more
just,
mornings like that. I got to work on those myself.
yes, I'm just like, I'm just feeling it. And for the first time in my life, I actually feel beautiful, like inside and out. And I'm just
I've been
trying to
telling you that
do,
since I've met you, your
thank
soul
you.
and your physical wellness.
Thank you. I appreciate you always. And yeah, that's what I'm on right now. And the other day I did crash. It's interesting. Like, I had a situation come up, but it wasn't even a situation. Nobody did anything to me. It was how I took it, like you said, right? I
Hmm.
took it incorrectly. And by me taking it incorrectly, I went into a total fit like I was 3 years old, which I never allow myself to do, but I just allowed it. I kicked, I screamed, I cried, I let it out. Once I got up, I was like, okay, life is totally wonderful and amazing again. Like it's just, I snapped back so fast as to where before that would have been 3 days. And I think that's that emotional intelligence you're speaking of. So just maturing into that because I've always just been an emotional wreck, you know.
Well, one thing, like I told you, you're a generator with emotional authority.
Mhm.
We're programmed from early on that we're supposed to make decisions by thinking about shit.
Right.
That's not how you and I are built.
Right.
We're built for, does that feel good? Or does that,
Right.
you know what doesn't feel good?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's what you need to trust. The other thing
Mhm.
about emotional authority is that it goes in waves. You're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. You don't want to make decisions when you're way up here. Oh, life is fantastic. Or,
Exactly.
oh my
Exactly.
God,
Or too far
everybody's a
down.
piece of shit. You want to wait out the wave
Right.
until, you get to a middle point and you can
Mhm.
really feel what it made you feel.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if it's
Yeah.
feels like shit, it's a no.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
And
I
it's
just I really go ahead.
it drives people around me nuts because now they'll ask me something and want a decision immediately. Do you want to
Oh
go to
no.
lunch? I don't know. Let me feel into that. Is my
You're right.
response to
Right.
almost everything now.
Yeah.
If it's a big decision, I give it 2, 3 days at the minimum before I get a
Mhm.
yes or no.
Mhm.
You know, some decisions may take a week or a month.
Then
And
that they should.
people don't like that. They want a yes or no right now.
Yes,
The
they
only ones
do.
who can give a yes or no in the moment is people with splenic authority.
Hmm.
And they get an instant yes, no
Okay.
answer, yes. They're kind of hard to deal with because it could be yes now and 2 minutes later it could be no. But let me stop the
Well.
recording since I'm
Okay. Okay.